Hello and welcome to the Connected World at IBC 2013. With me today I have Thorsten Sauer, Head of Services for Ericsson. Thorsten, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Will.
It's a very interesting journey that we have from Ericsson over the last few years, and you work for the services part of the business. What does that encapsulate?
I think when you look at Ericsson, it's a large company, and we principally can be split into two parts. I mean, the software development and the services part. It's about 50-50 now, and I think we've started our journey into media more or less at the same time on both sides. On the services side, I mean, we really focused on the back of our managed services business to extend our offering to media companies. And we've done that starting in Sweden and then have, through the acquisition last year of Technicolor Broadcast Services, expanded into the UK, France and the Netherlands. What we do is we're principally focused on media companies like broadcasters, and we basically offer a whole set of services for them to basically manage technical complexity, the operations really, that is necessary to get the precious content that those broadcasters create to all types of devices.
And that includes CDN technology, I assume?
We do that as well, and I think that will be a very interesting possible future addition from our extension to our service offering. That's what we do actually on the product and the site. So I think we launched now a press release that we actually built the largest private CDN in the world. I mean, for a customer in Russia. So that is a very interesting area that you touch upon. I think that is an area where I think we have a lot of competence. I mean, efficient distribution in connectivity. So that is an area, very, very interesting point.
That was one of the highlights of this show. Are there any other announcements that are coinciding with IBC?
I think we are constantly working on very exciting new customer additions. I mean, we announced actually that we continue our partnership with Canal Plus in France with an expanded scope, and we're very happy and looking forward for extending that for a long term. I think it's a very important customer of ours.
There seems to be a trend within the broadcast sector to get specialist service providers that have expertise in areas like content delivery or management. Yeah. Obviously, this is an area that you're playing in. Why do you think this trend is happening now?
I think when you look at, and we do a lot of original research in order to eliminate the guessing from predictions. And we see that, I mean, consumers consume more and more video, I mean, through various types of devices. We see actually that there's a big trend. I mean, while overall linear television is fairly stable, I mean, we see an increasing trend which complements that experience through new type of devices, non-linear. And we see that actually that is shifting away from a typical desktop or laptop experience to mobile phones and tablets. When you look at this trend, I mean, what you can constitute is the complexity is rising. And you really have to understand well the technology and understand how you basically create those multiple formats, what are the devices that you need to support, and how you basically create a fantastic customer experience, I mean, all the way to the actual device. So complexity is increasing. At the same time, I think the importance of scale is getting more and more important. And that is really, I mean, two angles that we look at this. We want to manage complexity for our customers, and we want to help them with scale. We want to do things once for several customers, rather than doing it once per customer.
We're also seeing a trend in the broadcast space where national broadcasters and organizations are now becoming transnational, international broadcasters.
Absolutely.
As companies move into new markets, where do you see Ericsson's ability to help them as they break into new territories or into new platforms?
I think we have the fortune to be, from the early origins of the company, a very global company. We are present in 180 countries around the world, and I think that is one of the key, I mean, benefits that we can offer our customers, that we have a physical presence and, I mean, a part of the local environment, so to say, in many different places. So I think that is a key element and key aspect that we can help our customers with, to enter new markets, to have basically, I mean, a partner that is actually locally established and has been there for a long time.
I know Ericsson for many years around the communications space. Yeah. I'm guessing that some of your customers who were telecoms customers are now media entertainment customers. Is that a reality, or is it more of a desire?
That's absolutely. I mean, when you look at 10 years back, it was all about voice. I mean, then it became all about data. Now it's all about video. I mean, when we look at, I mean, what drives, I mean, the traffic in the networks, it's clearly video, and it's more and more professional video, not user-generated video, and I think that is a reality that most of our telecommunication customers are facing, and at the same time, I mean, they sit on a very, very important asset, and that is the ability to connect to users, to have a relationship with users. So TV, to add on to their typical business model, is a very logical choice.
Okay. You mentioned you're a services business. Where are the new frontiers for services? I mean, broadcasters are now getting involved in the billing relationship and subscription relationships and on-demand services. As a services company, where do you see the next frontier of services?
I think fundamentally, I think we want to become always better at what we do. So I think having the right processes, right methods, the right tools in place to provide a very reliable service at the lowest possible price to our customers. That is the fundamentals, and I think we have been very successful in establishing those fundamentals. So a lot of rigor and a lot of actually R&D. And we basically push the the frontiers or the boundaries, if you wish, by constantly expanding our service offering. I think from where we started from being very product near to support, basically to install and support and operate maybe our own gear. We do that now for many, many other companies. We then moved into the area of business support systems, operational support systems, where we are both on the product side but also on the service side, want to help our customers to create the flexibility that is needed in today's world to adapt very quickly. And media is just another logical step. I mean, adding another customer group to us, and which is very precious to us. So I think going forward, I see us doing that more and more. I mean, we know that connectivity is becoming extremely important in a network society, and there are many different new industries that can benefit from that. At the same time, I mean, there are a couple of functional areas that are extremely important. So BSS, OSS touches upon that, and I think managing the connectivity for our customers, I think, is one of the other key areas.
This particular hall, number 14, is all around connected technologies and convergence.
Yes.
Mobility and new devices. We're at an unprecedented time now where connectivity becomes all important. Do you see that there's a role to be played for companies like yourself working between devices and new emerging technologies to try and bridge those gaps? And are you, as a company with a large R&D aspect, are you working in that area at all?
I think we do, and we have been traditionally doing that. I mean, I think we always look for new and exciting technology and how we can embed that. I mean, I think that is what Ericsson has been doing. I think we have a strong culture of our own R&D, but especially on the service side, we have been always open to work with new interesting companies and to basically combine that in our offering. So I think we are I mean, we spend a lot of time at those fairs and outside those fairs to look at new companies, because as you say, I mean, creating the connection between the device and the content, that's where we want to be strong, and I think we continuously add service and capabilities along that chain. And I think that will be key, because it's what counts is basically the user experience, and that is composed of so many different factors, and I think we can contribute to improve that in many different ways.
You mentioned complexity. It's the fear that most broadcasters and content providers have, that complexity introduces cost.
Yes.
When you're speaking to your clients, what are their greatest fears around this connected and mobile world? What elements do they say to you, we need to solve these problems in 3, 5, 10 years' time?
I think everybody understands that, I mean, the TV industry, like the music industry, is undergoing a massive change. I think everybody is asking themselves, I mean, what is the pace? I mean, how quickly will it happen? And I think we can draw some parallels from the music industry, and I think we see that it will take, I mean, I think you see it crumbling, and then it will happen potentially very, very fast. I think the TV industry has been constantly adapting, but I think there's a clear trend among, I mean, consumers, I mean, how they want to enjoy content. I mean, and it's a very different for live sports events or for more stock content. But I think fundamentally, I think the user voice will be stronger and stronger. So I think when you look at that, everybody understands the change. Everybody tries to find a way to address the change. Everybody's asking themselves, how quickly will it happen? And I think one of the ways that we want to help our customers is basically giving the opportunity to experiment. Because at the moment, I think everybody has to experiment a little bit. I mean, business models will change, and it's not really clear yet. I mean, what are the winning business models? So I think in that sense, it's extremely important to experiment. And you don't really want to do that by basically putting all your eggs in one basket. So that's why we offer, for instance, I mean, new service offerings as a service. So you don't have to basically invest and put all your eggs in one basket, but you basically say, we want to try this service and we want to try it for a period of time, can you help us? And we help that by basically doing this type of service for many others. So it's a platform as a service which basically reduces the barriers of entry, I mean, and experimentation. I think that's one of the elements how we can try to help.
One of the hot topics at this show has been cloud.
Yeah.
In fact, almost every other vendor has a new cloud story to tell.
Yeah.
Is cloud something that's in Ericsson's future?
Absolutely. I mean, we see, cloud becoming relevant in all different aspects of the world. I mean, we are building, very significant data centers. We're consolidating data centers. I mean, so that is one element. And as I said, some of the services that we try to launch now purely as a platform as a service. We don't call it, cloud, per se, because I think it becomes an overused term. But I think, we just want to use and offer functionality and scalability in a modular fashion, and basically do that not on-premise, it's cloud. But I think we just call it, our media internet delivery or our media preparation services. That was what we launched. But the idea behind it is the same.
Are broadcasters, in your opinion, ready for this change? It does change the notion of procurement of service delivery and even ownership of services. Are they culturally ready to make this change?
I think they are. I think there are a lot of progressive people among broadcasters. It means always change. It's a different way of working together with partners. So there's always an element of change. But I see a lot of positive movement, and I think our propositions that we launched here, which are more platforms as a service, have received a lot of positive reactions. So I think people are getting it, and they say, okay, we probably don't have to build that for ourselves in a very bespoke and very specific ways. There are certain things where we have to be different, and those are the things where we have to innovate around. It's all about the end user interface experience, the branding, of our content and our catalog. But the underlying technology, we don't have to be special, and I think we rather work with someone who is doing it for many others, because they have learned from different experiences, and they can improve, and provide that as a service. And then I think we can innovate and differentiate on top of that. Yeah. So I think it's very, very positive so far received.
I agree with you entirely. It's clear when we speak to people at this event that cloud is on their radar, and they recognize the benefits, but sometimes they want help to get them to the cloud future.
And I think it's, in my personal opinion, we shouldn't always talk about the cloud, because the cloud is just a way of delivering something. That's why we basically put in front, what is it that we do? We do in video internet delivery. That's how we call it. And that we use basically cloud-based ideas behind it is the way we deliver it. So I think the idea is, what is it that we do? What is the function that we perform on behalf of our clients? That is what is important. How we do it and what is the best and efficient way, that's basically our trouble to deal with. And I think we're fairly good at dealing with it. But we don't have to say it's cloud and that's why it's good. It's about, let's try media internet delivery, and we help you to do that in the most efficient way with the right components, and that's what we do.
Thorsten, I really do appreciate taking the time.
Thank you, Will.
So, Thorsten Sauer, Head of Services for Ericsson, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.